It's NBC 26 at 10. Migrants from Central America arriving at the U.S. border seeking asylum. Plus, Ronny Jackson won't be returning to the White House as the president's physician. And a Green Bay man going the extra mile to help a friend who is battling cancer. Hundreds of migrants have arrived at the U.S. border and many plan to seek asylum. This also triggered a response from President Trump himself. NBC's Dan Scheneman reports.
After traveling thousands of miles to Tijuana, migrants walk to the U.S. border crossing. But U.S. immigration officials say the port of entry is at capacity. People without proper entry documents cannot be processed. The migrants must now wait to seek asylum.
Once they declare that they have fear of returning to the home country, then the U.S. authorities will take them in, probably detain them for a couple days, and then turn them over to ICE.
At one time, more than 1,000 people were in the caravan. Now it's about 400. Immigration lawyers have worked to pinpoint the 150 or so with a chance to be granted asylum.
And the reason why the legal review is important is so that people who do not have a well-articulated asylum claim and no chance of winning do not needlessly subject themselves to a system that is designed to deport them.
The caravan has caught the attention of the White House. The president has promised to bar them from entering the United States, tweeting, "I have instructed the Secretary of Homeland Security not to let these large caravans of people into our country." Today, a handful of protesters climbed the border fence to show solidarity with the asylum seekers who are near their destination but don't know their future. Dan Scheneman, NBC News.
Saying at the White House, Admiral Ronny Jackson won't return as a president's physician. Jackson recently removed his name for the Secretary of Veterans Affairs position after several allegations that include being intoxicated during a trip overseas, loosely handling pain medications, and making a toxic work environment. He has denied those allegations. Well, it's been a sunny weekend, but can we keep up this momentum? Gino Recchi has a look at your first forecast. Gino.
Mo, it was a nice gradual warm-up from the lower 50s yesterday, even upper 40s. Today, we added about 10 degrees or so, a high of 58 in Green Bay, 60s out towards Watoma and Wapaka, and also down towards Oshkosh and Fond du Lac. But along the lakeshore, we were a tad cooler because of still that pesky wind off the lake, keeping us a little cooler. Our average high for this time of year is 60 degrees. We did reach a high of 58, so about 2 degrees above below the normal. With high pressure still remaining under control, we'll have more sunshine tomorrow, Mo, and also some 70s in that forecast. I'll have that in just a bit.
All right, Gino, thank you. And the Wolf River in Shiocton has crested at a historic level. Reports from the United States Geological Survey say this morning it crested at 14.13 feet. The last record was 14.10 feet. That was back on April 1st, 1922. This comes after the snow from the historic blizzard melted and made its way into the river. And on to local news now. Nobody is hurt after the garage catches fire in Maribel this morning. Several volunteer fire departments were called to the 16,000 block of Rosecrans Road around 11:15 this morning. The garage is fully engulfed in flames when they got there. Now, right now, the cause of the fire is unknown. And the Kaukauna Fire Department says a van caught fire this afternoon on State Highway 55 near 10th Street. They say nobody was hurt, but part of the Highway 55 was shut down for about an hour. That van is a complete loss. Covering Wisconsin now, the Wisconsin State Chiefs Association is finding ways to help firefighters struggling with mental health issues. This comes after one Superior firefighter took his own life. The association's president says firefighters will get 40 hours of training to become peer support counselors. They say the training will help find warning signs of mental health issues. And right now, construction crews are out at the new Foxconn site this weekend. They're doing some pre-inspection work and checking the land. The first 2 pieces of machinery were delivered earlier this week. Hundreds more will follow soon. And Governor Walker will be in Superior tomorrow to get an update on recovery efforts. He'll be at the Husky Energy oil refinery at 3:10 in the afternoon. Officials say 13 people were injured from the oil refinery explosion in Superior just from a couple of days ago. The manager at the Husky Energy refinery says 6 injured workers were taken to hospitals. The rest of them, though, were treated on site. Senator Ron Johnson will be making stops in northeast Wisconsin tomorrow. He'll be at Oshkosh North High School at 8:40 tomorrow morning. Then just before noon, he'll be at the Oshkosh Rotary Club to give brief remarks and a legislative update. And exciting news for bird watchers. Migrating birds are now heading over to the state right now. According to the Wisconsin Bird Conservation Initiative, birds are migrating up the central part of the country. They say now the shifting winds have sent the birds eastward into our state. You can see them at their peak through Wednesday. And the Wisconsin DNR says sturgeon spawning on the Wolf River has begun. They say they are visible at the Bamboo Bend in Shawangton, are actively spawning in New London as well. This year's spawning is starting a little later than usual because of the cold temperatures, but there's a good chance it'll be very quick because of the forecasted warmer temperatures coming up. And the Packers and Cowboys are familiar foes on the gridiron, but this time it has very little to do with football and everything to do with saving a life. NBC 26's Shane Gustafson takes it from here.
Bruce Harmons is from Luxembourg, but works as an assistant principal down in Dallas, Texas. When he found out that his music teacher, Allison, had a rare form of tongue, head, and neck cancer, he decided his love for his hometown could help her as well. Students line the hallways at Capel Middle School West in the northern suburbs of Dallas Thursday afternoon.
She told me, Bruce, my husband and I and my kids decided if it could help somebody else that we wanted to do this and we'd be behind it the whole way, and what do you need me to do?
Those words coming from the school's music teacher, Allison, diagnosed with tongue, head, and neck cancer back in January 2017.
She actually came back to work this year and was working the whole year, and then in January they realized it came back. So they had to take out another big chunk of her tongue.
But that's when the school stepped in, showing support. The assistant principal ran 21 miles to AT&T Stadium to raise money. He launched RunForAllison.com, which shares her story, but also pits Packers and Cowboy fans against each other to see which team can raise the most money.
They're kind of snickering at me right now because the Cowboys are ahead about 10-1, but I said that's because the Green Bay fans haven't heard about it yet. When they do, watch out.
And there's a big prize on the line. Hermans is running the Cellcom Marathon in Green Bay next month. Whichever team wins the contest is the jersey that he has to wear to Lambeau Field.
I would never be caught dead in that blue and silver stuff. So it would kill me if I would have to run in that. So I have a lot of faith in Packer fans that as they hear about this, they're going to come through and they're going to show these Cowboys what Packer fans are all about.
Right now, the Packers are down to the Cowboys, but that could change with your help. Head over to our website, NBC26.com, for the latest. Keeping you connected, Shane Gustafson, NBC 26.
Being there when a friend needs you most. Also, with warmer temperatures out there, what better time to learn how to build a boat than now? That and much more when we come back. But first, what's the weather going to look like for the rest of the weekend and also for the work week? Your forecast coming up.
And now, your NBC 26 Storm Shield forecast with meteorologist Gino Recchia.
Temperatures are cooling down into the mid-40s this evening, 45 degrees in Green Bay with a wind steady out of the south at 7 miles per hour, making a very small wind chill factor at 41 degrees. Temperature is still a little warmer inland in the 50s in Wapaka, Watoma, even Shawano at 50 degrees this evening, but Sheboygan, a little chilly right now, down to 36 degrees, all and up and down the lakeshore this afternoon. Didn't see much of that warmer weather than farther inland because of the cool lake water temperatures for this time of year. Winds still will hold steady between 5 to 10 miles per hour overnight tonight. That should prevent those temperatures to cool off too much farther. But then as we get towards tomorrow, we also have the potential of another day of some fire risk. This was today where we had high and very high conditions for the possibility of quickly spreading fires because of the dry, low humidity values and also the strong winds and dry vegetation. Then we're going to be transitioning the page over to the flooding. Even though we have been dry recently, we had a lot of snow that melted and that continued to raise the water level over the Wolf River, which now actually is the highest level ever recorded in the Shawangton area for the Wolf River. Just broke the record in this morning's observation, breaking the 19 and 22 record of 14.10 feet. This is a viewer photo that also came in from New London showing a sidewalk that is covered with water, even perhaps some of the backyards. And notice the bridge, how close that water level is up towards there. Good news is for you folks towards New London, Shawangton, the water level will start to subside, and probably by the end of next week, towards the weekend, the water level should be below a flooding stage. But with high pressure overhead for the time being, we don't have any precipitation to talk about until about late Tuesday night into Wednesday. as this storm system will slowly drift off to the east, increasing cloud cover by Tuesday, and a chance of some showers and thunderstorms as well. But for tomorrow, expecting a mostly sunny day. Notice where all the showers and storms remain off towards our west as the system starts to drift off to the east, though, as we get towards Tuesday. Some models are showing the arrival of the precipitation on Tuesday, others on Wednesday. I'm keeping it dry for the time being on Tuesday, but might have to change that as we get towards tomorrow, depending on the latest data. Another thing, temperatures in the 70s, that warm air transporting down from the southwest, moving up to the northeast. However, as we get towards the end of the work week into the weekend, some cooler weather will start to subside and move into our area. For tonight, cooling down to an overnight low of 40 degrees, winds steady out of the south and southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow, rising up to a high of 70, not too bad. Our first 70 since the middle of October for Green Bay, although a few of us did see 70 degrees so far this year. 75 on Tuesday, back into the lower 70s on Wednesday with a chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Back into the lower 60s on Thursday as a cold front moves through. Upper 60s on Friday. And for the weekend, yes, it'll be a little cooler, but at least another high pressure moves in here, Mo, and it keeps us high and dry with temperatures right around average.
It's the middle we got to worry about.
That's right.
All right, thank you so much, Gino. We'll still head on NBC 26 with the warmer temperatures out there. What better time to learn how to build a boat than now? That and much more when we come back. Welcome back. A local organization that focuses on building wooden boats brought in a Great Lakes sailor to help teach classes today. The organization Hands on Deck helps kids and families succeed through the science and art of boat building. Today at the South Bay Marina in Green Bay, they brought in a Great Lakes sailor, Howard Rice, who told a story about his trip down the Strait of Magellan from Patagonia. Rice came to do a virtual classroom session.
I always learn better using my hands or doing something kind of hands-on, and that's what Hands on Deck is all about, is about using your hands to kind of grasp the foundations of math and science and geometry.
And organizers say it's a great way for people to build relationships through boat building and sailing. New legislation has been introduced that would create post office banks. The bill is aimed at Americans who might not have access to commercial banking services. Under this proposal called the Postal Banking Act, every local U.S. post office would have retail banking. Now, if this is passed, people can cash paychecks and deposit money free of any charge. And parents can now control how much their kid spends on the Facebook Messenger app. It's called the sleep feature mode. Parents can set specific times and the app can't be used on the device. During the off times, kids can't send or receive any messages, play with the camera, or get any notifications. And it looks like the third time is the charm for two cell service providers. T-Mobile and Sprint are going for a merger for the third time. A deal between the two companies was announced today. If it is approved, the combined company would be worth at $146 billion. The last attempt at a merger fell through back in October. Well, that's going to do it for me tonight, but we're not done just yet. Sports Rewind with Chris Barrier and Kelly Price is up next.